My name is Dean Murray, and this is my Cherokee. In today's webisode, we're going to go over another custom feature of this rig, the interior accessories. Today's webisode will be part one of a two-part series in which we talk about everything from the B-pillar back, the cargo area, the back seat, and all of its contents. I'd like to welcome you all to my channel. Let's begin the show. Okay, let's begin on the outside of the vehicle. This is the rear quarter panel glass on the passenger side. I've replaced the OEM glass with Margard number 10. This is the 1/8 inch thick variety. Here I've got the mounting hardware as the cap head hex key bolt 1/4 inch, similar to that on the windshield if you've seen that video. In this corner, this is a master disconnect. They're available just about anywhere. The way I have this wired up is through the negative of the battery. It interrupts the ground of the battery. So if you attempt to start the vehicle and this is in the off position, the batteries are not grounded, therefore the vehicle will not start. You have to flip it on for that to work. Unfortunately though, this does not stop the motor from running. So if I were to get knocked out, or if the vehicle were to roll over and somebody needed to stop the vehicle for me, that does not stop the vehicle. And the reason why is because the motor will find its own ground and continue to run. In a lot of racing applications or rock crawling racing applications, the master disconnect is required to stop the motor from running. This is not wired that way. I believe this is wired a safer way for a more casual application. The wires that come up from behind here are not 12-volt wires. They're just ground wires, so there's no power and you cannot get shocked. So there's a couple of ways to wire them. Look into it. Like I said, this is the way that disconnects the battery from grounding. So right now we'll go over to the other side and I'll show you what's in the other window. Okay, we're on the driver's side now, and the first thing you notice is that the filler neck has been moved up. When I bought the armor for the quarter panel, I filled in the area where the fuel door was. Okay, so that just kind of gave it a cleaner look. So I wanted to move it up, and we just went to the junkyard and got a CJ filler neck and moved it up into the corner here, and once again into a piece of 22 gauge that kind of houses it all. I'll show you the inside of that when we move around to the back. It's still Margard on this side as well. So let's move around to the back where the spare tire is, and I'll show you the inside of the filler neck and the inside of the master disconnect. Okay, we're in the cargo area right now. As you can see, I run a full-size spare. This is a 35 1250 on a 15-inch wheel. The tire and the wheel are mounted to the roll cage on 3 lug nuts, so it's not going anywhere. It barely sticks out, so when I put the hatch on, it does hit the hatch. I had to cut out a little bit, modify the hatch. There's another video out for that if you're interested. But right now what we'll do is we'll show you a couple of the items here in the back, and then we'll remove the spare tire to give a better appearance or a better visual from the back here. So let me take this camera off here and show you what I wanted to from the inside. This is the filler neck. What we did is we actually cut the original tunnel right here. Yeah, we cut a hole in the top and ran the hoses up and put it into the window. This is the filler neck, and then this is the ventilation. I'm going to use one of the dress-up kits that sleeve this so that it has a better look. But really I'm not worried about it right now. This is This is good enough for me as it is. So this is the filler neck right there. And that's how it goes down into the tank. Okay, now let me show you over here. This is the master disconnect. This is the can that we made. The master disconnect sits inside that can. It's all tacked in behind so that it's got a cleaner appearance from the inside. That's the master disconnect. And like I said, these are wired to the negative of the batteries. So these are both grounds. They're negatives, and they go over this direction and to the batteries. And what I'll do is I'll remove the spare tire here in a second, like I said, and it'll give us a better visual of everything. But before I do that, I want to show you one last thing. In the middle here, we did a little something extra. This is removable. As you can see, this is a Gears of War logo. For any of you all that are gamers, this is a water jetted out logo. A friend of mine, John, did this for me. I appreciate it. Thanks, John. And what we did was we mounted this onto a plate, and behind it we mounted some UHMW, ultra high molecular weight, which is for this purpose a cutting board. In most circumstances, it's used for a skid plate. So you just lay this down flat on the ground, use it as a cutting board, or if you're cooking something out and you want to just lay it on there, your utensils or whatever, you can. If this gets scratched up, we just take it off and repaint it. It's not a big deal. It's just 4 mounting bolts here, and it all disassembles. The way this will actually mount inside here so that it's not loose and rattles out is we have a hoop here, and there's a hole through the spare tire mount on the roll cage. And what I'll do is I'll actually have a turnbuckle or something that'll come and suck this down inside here so that it stays a little more snug. Right now it does fine. I mean, I go out on rides with it just like that, and it really doesn't go anywhere. At night, when we turn the mood lights on inside, there's a mood light here and here, and they shine down. Kind of gives it a pretty unique look to it. So anyway, let's remove the spare tire and give you a better visual, and we'll go over everything on the inside of the cargo area. Okay, now that the spare tire's out, I've got a little more room to show you some of the accessories from the back. So this is the spare tire holder. It's a 3-lug system. It's mounted directly to the cage, but I'll go over all of that in a future video when I do the cage itself, the way it's tied into the subframe and the design, the way the seats are on it. But as for now, let's just keep going with some of the things that I run. This is a soft cooler. It's a 24-pack. It allows me to tuck it into places a hard cooler wouldn't fit, and you know, they do real well. All right, here's the Rockford Fosgate. This is the M262 wakeboard speakers. These are 6.5-inch woofer and a 1-inch tweeter. It's a 150-watt peak power speaker. It has a unique aluminum clamp on it. It allows 360 degrees of maneuverability. If I just got the ones that are simply clamp on without this, that's where they would be stuck. So of course I didn't want it like that. I wanted it to be pointing forward. It's a waterproof speaker. If I need to you know, hose down the inside of this, there's no problem with it. They're run from a amplifier up front in the center console. I'll go over that in the part 2 of this video. And they do pretty well. So let me see here. Pull this camera off and show you a view of this down here. This is the trail gear. This is a CNC cut 16 gauge steel 6-quart oil carrier. So I only have 4 of them in there now. It's got a pretty unique little locking mechanism there that doesn't allow it to accidentally open. A spring-loaded lock, and the top completely comes off. So it basically holds 6 quarts. It holds them in pretty tight. I have it mounted to the body with 4 1/4-inch bolts. It's not really going anywhere. You can weld it on. You can mount it on through the back. You can do whatever you need to do. Mounting options are pretty unique, or pretty, you know, unlimited there. So it locks it down, and you know, of course, if there was 2 more in here, this would be about all they'd move. I don't have access to it from here though. When the spare tire is on, I've got to come from the passenger window, so it's a little trickier for me to go and access this. But you know, I don't use it on a daily basis. So, okay, let's go over here. This is on the driver's wheel well of the rear tire. This is a catch can for the rear chunk. This has got, it's a circle track catch can. So as the fluid comes up here and deposits in the bottom of the can, it still allows room for air to travel up to the breather, and it doesn't prevent the breathing from happening. Here, a little petcock valve at the bottom for draining it. And down here I've got the breather for the gas tank. So that's that. All right, I'm going to move the camera up to the side window now and show you a view of some of the accessories from up there. Okay, let's go over a couple more items here. This is the Rough Stuff dual battery holder for the Optimas. I don't know if it fits any other battery manufacturer. I haven't tried it out, but I think they advertise it as just the Optima dual battery holder. It's 12 gauge CNC. It actually has a tigged on center tab here that actually it prevents cracking happening during heavy vibration. So it's got a pretty good construction to it. It's mounted down to the Jeep as well, so it's not going anywhere. It's done wonderfully over the years. It's for the 3478 group of batteries, and I've got a little indicator light there that flashes to show me these batteries have lived their lives, so they're done. I need to swap those out here. I run Blue Tops now only because I got a good deal on them, but I will be switching over to the deep cell yellow top. A lot of people don't like Optimas because they've changed their manufacturing location to Mexico now, and to be honest with you, I really haven't seen a problem with the quality of the batteries, so I think I'll continue running them. I have them running in parallel right now. There's no isolator between the two, so you know, they just kind of run their lives together like that. If you have an isolator, you know, there's great ways to hook them up, and you know, I believe in those as well. Let's go over this. This is everybody should have fire extinguishers in their vehicle. I run two, one on this side and one right behind the camera on the other side. These are 2.5 pound ABC fire extinguishers. If you don't know what the ABC stands for, the A refers to like trash and paper, B refers to any kind of liquid gas, those type of things, and C is an electrical fire. So these 2.5 pound ABC fire extinguishers cover all variety. There's a number a lot of the time in front of the A, B, and C that tell you the rating of the fire that they put out as well. So pay attention to those. You know, check and make sure your charge is good on them. That's one thing a lot of people oversee. These are just a simple Velcro holder. It's just 3 snaps and they're out. I opted to run these instead of the included roll-on ones. They looked really cheap, so I went with this instead. It was something I thought was a lot better of an idea. Here in the back corner, I'm running a Poly Performance bag. It's 14 inch by 14 inch. It's a 2-inch thick bag. It's something that just straps right onto your roll cage. It's got a couple of you know, accessories here. You know, you can run. I run some silicone spray in here. On the inside, I just have any kind of item that I might use out on the trail, from some silverware, can openers, and some other plate type of things. You know, just anything that's going to help me out on the trail when I'm cooking some salt and pepper. You know, we do a lot of cooking out on the trails. I've got a small camp grill that we keep that actually fits in the back here as well. So you know, a lot of time we're cooking out there, and I want to have at least some of the bare essential things to have fun with while I'm out there. Also, in addition to that, I have down here a Bubba rope. This is kind of a pretty good item to have if you're going to try to pull someone out. This is a 7/8 thick rope. It's 20 foot long. It's got the color-coded sides. You know, if you need to snatch someone out of a mud hole or just pull them around in general, that's your deal. They work really well. They're available just about anywhere. I just got down here. What I'll do is I'll switch the camera around to this side that I'm on, and I'll show you what's on the other side there. Okay, behind the passenger seat I've got a 10-pound power tank. I like power tanks. You can take them where you need to, you know, take them if you need to use them, rather than versus onboard air. They both have their advantages. They both have their disadvantages. This one uses CO2, which is it actually enters the tank as a liquid and it leaves the tank as a vapor. It's worth its weight, because this one particular power tank is worth about 3 tanks of, say, nitrogen, and even more of just solid compressed air. So it goes quite a distance. It's got a 25-foot coiled hose with it. It's got a nice air chuck with it from 0 to 60 on big readable numbers of 0 to 60 psi. A little thumb compressor, or a little thumb button on it. It works well. It's got an aluminum mount that they come with, or that, you know, you can buy in a package. And we actually mounted this to a plate behind here that we welded to the cage, so the whole thing is on here. Very solid. You know, you can ride around with it like this. It's not going anywhere. But like I said, if you need to take it out, you can. You know, power tanks run impact tools. They fill up tires. I think they run at 150 psi, if not a little bit more. But look into them if you haven't seen it before. This is a 48-inch high lift. Everybody knows what a high lift does. This is mounted on their proprietary roll bar cage system, so it sits back there, kind of out of view. Really solid mount. It's not going anywhere. I don't want it to hit me in the head. It's not just hanging out. It's up there for good. Okay, so that leaves us with down here in the back seat area, I've got 2 custom-made toolboxes. These sit on a plate that basically, when I removed the back seat, and I'll show you some pictures here in a second. When I removed the back seat and took out the seat belt bolts that were back here, I put a flat piece of, I think it was a 3/16 inch steel across the bottom, and I supported the front of it up with a little piece of square tubing. Okay, what that does is that gives me a solid base for putting these toolboxes down on. These toolboxes were made from a guy by the name of Keith Bailey from the Off-Road Connection in Fultondale, Alabama, the Southeast's finest fabrication. If you need anything, you know, give them a shout. Those guys are amazing down there. So he basically was a sheet metal worker in his day, and he made these custom toolboxes. This is one piece right here of sheet metal. I think these are 20 gauge, maybe 22. It's one piece. He mapped it, he cut it out, he designed it so he could just fold the corners in, and then he welded the pieces, the ends for me, so it's all nice. The beads are rolled around here so that they you can't even, you know, get cut on it. The base is also just one piece folded together, all 4 sides, and then one corner is welded. The rest are just nice natural bends. I'll show you here. And this side here, I carry, you know, some jumper cables, the air chuck for the power tank. I've got a power inverter, a little 200 watt that I've got just with some eye hoops on, you know, that I can put directly onto the battery. Little first aid kit, and my Warren winch bag. This has, you know, the winch lead controller on it, the tree saver, and some snatch blocks. It also has some additional wrenches, larger wrenches for the tie rod bolts and such. They fit down in the bottom. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go around to the other side of this, and I want to show you how these are actually mounted down to the plate. So give me 1 second. Okay, this side here I haven't permanently mounted down to the plate on the back seat yet, just so that I could show you how they mount. Anyway, I'll show you what I have in here. Just some spare hubs, a couple of wrenches, Some tool bags, of course, everybody has those. Not much there. Tire plug kit. And this is a roll out tool bag. Something pretty cool. I think everybody should have one of these. Just has all the necessities in it. Everything from magnets, mirrors, crescent wrenches, all the necessities. Put that back there. In the front of this, attached to it, I have a mag light that I have attached to the front. And so I'm going to show you how these lift up. Okay, so that's the toolbox right there. And the way these mount is, we put some 1/4 inch stock, or I'm sorry, some 1 inch stock around the inside of that, and welded it down to this 3/16 plate, and drilled holes, spaced them out. We mounted them with 1/4 inch hardware, so they're not going anywhere. Custom made to spec. Love them. They're easily accessible. They're locking if I need to. I think I got the handles for them at Lowe's, and they're hinged. You know, a pretty simple process. You know, I want to thank Keith Bailey for building those for me. That's something that I really consider very special with this back seat. It's just not something that was thrown together, and you know, I really appreciate that hard work. So something really unique. Well, that's going to do it for today's webisode. I appreciate you all joining me. If you like these videos and you enjoy this channel, please click the subscribe button below. Share these videos with your friends. And don't forget to hit that like button. Drop me a comment below if you have any future requests or any constructive criticism. I read them all and I answer most of them. Appreciate y'all joining me. We'll see you next time.